So good. I've thought for a while now it's maybe his best champion. Has been really, really effective on it. So that is going to be taken away. And we'll have to see where he wants to go and what FlyQuest want to do. You touched on it last game. I don't think FlyQuest is really going to be that affected by the previous game. They seem to just be like really good vibes. I was chatting with them before the game today, and they're just always joking around, having fun. So I don't think they're going to be too stressed.
Okay, well, with Mundo being our last ban here in the first half, and Karma being the first lock over on the side of FlyQuest, absolutely, I expect to see something like Ezreal right next to it. Yeah. If you're locking Karma, you need an AD carry that's also looking to bully and push the lane.
First pick slamming though. Okay, they're laying it down really early. I mean, that would be revealing a big tell about your bottom lane being a heavy poke down there. So let's see if Cloud9 can punish it in draft. I mean, it makes me think, because it's slammed first pick, like, oh, is there some weird flex, top lane Karma used to be a thing in the past? I seriously doubt it, but now my brain is kind of trying to think of, okay.
There was a lot of flex in the last game.
Yeah, now I'm kind of thinking about it.
I just think what we're seeing is we're seeing more and more enchanters get banned and stuff, and I think they're just saying, you know what, like Karma Ezreal is actually just that OP.
Gain your lane prio.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really tough lane to deal with, and also Ezreal late game is very, very strong as well. Yep. Some people do really like the double tier builds, so it can scale very effectively, really hard to knock down, good range, so we'll see. I mean, if they don't select Ezreal on 3, like 2 or 3 here, then I would be really surprised. I would be really, really surprised. And then I'd be more in the Kobe camp of like, hey, maybe there's some shenanigans.
Get a little suspicious then,
yeah, something's not quite right here.
Well, on the other side, Cloud9 picked up the Azir, so we see the very common trade Azir for Orianna. Both of these champions fit into like every team composition you could ever compose a team with, so obviously.
Do we get Yunara, like Yunara Lulu, and get full on just Enchanter versus Enchanter battle? That would be interesting.
Lunara.
See,
that's way better than Zahungle.
Ezreal. Wow.
Right,
wow, I can't believe it.
From now on, we can't use any normal words. Everything you say has to be 2 words combined.
Okay, so we got the Ezreal versus
I'm drawing the line.
A Zorianna matchup mid. We've got a Zorianna mid versus...
And it is the Lulu, like I said.
Ezreal versus Lunara.
There you go. There you go.
Enchanters are just OP. I think, I swear, by the end of the season, pro play is just going to be all Enchanters and Mages and stuff. I just think you get too much gold, and they scale so well. I think that is where we are going, and I think as we're seeing more and more bans towards them, that's the team's kind of realizing their strength.
What about Azarma? That sounds like...
Ooh, that sounds like
fancier.
Yeah,
huh?
that actually
Doesn't
sounds
that sound cooler.
That sounds like a character from the book that Zven wrote called the Cultivation of War.
Yeah,
that's like the main character in that book. Azael, stop shaking your head at us. This sounds like a cool book. I don't know how to read, but this is what I imagine a book would be.
We're going to create an entire fantasy world here.
All right.
We are world builders.
This is the cinematic universe.
It started with Zahungle. That was the genesis of it.
Zahungle can be the cursed, like, Darklands.
It was the beginning of the downfall
world. Yeah, exactly.
It's because you pushed us over the edge with that.
Yeah.
Truly, you're the villain here.
That's fair. Well, no, I accept it.
In the second half of the draft, the junglers are the villains, though, as we're taking out some of that long-range ulti potential. Pantheon and Nocturne both taken off the table here, as Gwen will be the last ban for the C9 side.
Yeah, a lot of people are traumatized by Orianna and Nocturne combinations, so definitely agree with that ban. Meanwhile, the Pantheon and the Jarvan are 2 of the premier, AD jungles that are left, but like Zin and Vi, that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Are still available, so it's not taking away too much.
Dude, I still remember back in 2011 or something watching a drunk Saint Vicious stream where he was playing a Mumu and he accidentally leveled Q at level 2. And just like, nobody expects a Mumu level 2 gank. It's just like you're playing Jarvan. And he goes in and he gets a kill for first blood. Jarvan is a terror early on in the lanes, in the ganks. They don't want to be dealing with that this game. But you know who else terrorizes lanes? Ksante. This guy is so difficult to deal with, and that's Thanatos' champ.
And I mean, when you have Azir, Yunara, Lulu, you need some frontline, you're team fighting, like you've already signed up for that. So we'll see what their last pick is going to be for Blaber. If he has some sort of like spicy pick that they want to throw down, or if they just thought that the Ksante would get taken away if they didn't grab it right there. Because Thanatos is going to be blinding it, so Gakgos has the opportunity to go for a bit of a counter.
I mean, the Zahungle was a spicy pick, so if he's already shown spice, maybe he got some more in the pocket.
Why not twice? Do you think it's going to be Jayce jungle or Jayce top?
I mean, since we already had a lane Jayce yesterday, then my mind is more open to it. But Jayce into Ksante, it's one of those situations like Renekton and Sion where you're like, are you really going to get that much value out of this, buddy? So I think it's going to be jungle. Trundle was recently buffed, and you can go just straight into the Ksante here. Very good into tanks. So Trundle stocks have been on the rise.
And it's also really nice playing Skillshot champs with Trundle because you throw down the pillar, they're mega slowed. Karma, RQ, the Ezreal Qs come out, the Jayce Shock Blast. It's very hard to dodge that if you don't have a dash. So champions without a dash have to be very, very careful to not just get knocked down. And it is going to be Blaber. I think it's going to be the Echoes of Helia heal style build.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's going to be used, because I saw your face flowers, it's not going to be used to just dominate. I think it's going to be speed clearing, counter ganking the Trundle, and then heal and poke, answer what the poke style is on the other side, and just kind of heal through that with Luden's Echoes of Helia. That's my prediction.
I like that better.
I think he's going to do it exactly like he did it versus TL. Because they had Azir on that team as well. So I think it's just
maybe without the getting solo killed by Orianna. He'll skip that part.
They nerfed phase rush, so maybe maybe it won't happen again.
And it is a QUD mid laner. There's one letter different. He got solo killed by Quid.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain just short-circuited. I was like, what does QUD mean?
He got solo killed by Quid Orianna.
You think it's like some Latin abbreviation?
I thought it was
QED?
like quick utter destruction or something. I'm like, what does this stand for? I know practically every acronym in this game, but I've never heard this garbage
before. Maybe you're just losing your touch. Didn't know the acronym.
Yeah, I'm
you're
too
slow
old.
on the Zhongle. You're not quick on the uptake with the QUD mid laners.
Yeah, I guess I'm just slipping.
Well, the clue was the last time that they played this versus TL.
Quid
Orianna. Yeah.
See, Kobe's got my back. He's trying to slip me the answers to the test underneath my desk. Just be like, just answer this stuff.
Kobe's just like, all right, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. He just wants to settle you down,
Well, we'll see if Cloud9 can put FlyQuest to bed in this one, or if Fly is going to fight back. Last game went so south, so quick for the FlyQuest squad as C9 got their advantages early. So this time around, let's see how well what we're expecting the Echoes of Helia Nidalee. How well that can play. How well that can perform.
It looked very nice the last time he did it. His sustain was quite good. Bottom side, though, their sustain not so good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's barrier and still down to 200 HP for Massu.
I think we say this literally every single Yunara game, but level 1 Yunara with your Q,
she's nasty.
You get your Q stacked, and you can just let her rip.
I mean, I loved how they played the initial trade. But you don't want the extended fight, right? Like, they land a couple Qs, they get the chunk, great, you force out a potion, you're winning. But then his Q's fully stacked, he gets lethal tempo running. You do not win that, or even close. So, I mean, to pick for a first pick Karma, to go Ezreal Karma, 4 lane dominance, and then to lose barrier, heal, 2 potions, well, 1 potion each, 2 potions at level 1, and now you're going to get pushed in.
Well, the good part is at least it also cost the Ghost and the heal for Zven and Vulcan. So all of the non-flash summoner spells are down for both sides here in the bottom lane. We'll see if that draws the ire of the junglers, who are both starting on the top side of the map and pathing towards the bot lane. You can see the Orianna 4 quad there in the mid lane. Our QUD mid laner has the early push, so that'll be APA not having control just yet.
You're already starting to sound like a fantasy author. If it draws the ire of the junglers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to be very creative with my wording.
I just imagined an Eye of Sauron popping up, and it has flowers. You called it. Griffin's ire.
They've drawn the ire of Gryffinn as he makes his way slowly towards the bottom lane. It's first blood back over to C9, though, as they get the kill first. They will not be able to equalize it at 2 for 2 as Massu barely stays alive. FlyQuest comes out on top.
Yeah, Cryogen kind of messed that up. He went for the tether flash, but he flashed late, so the tether was already broken as he flashed, because Zven really quick flash, so that ended up making it a little bit sketchy. Zven, as a result, is able to get first blood before he goes down, so that really does kind of save the play, because now Zven has a decent buy. Like, he's in a way better position than he should be, and Gryffinn sacrificed a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. The extra 300 gold, the concentrated resources. Blaber is level 4 though, and there's a crab on my screen.
Exactly, he wants the crab, but unfortunately, the crab is controlled by FlyQuest.
New Blaber got the crab.
Uh-oh, new Blaber crabber. As Blaber tries to continue harassing Cryogen here. That spear sidestepped by the FlyQuest support. And it looks like C9's not done yet. Blaber's looking for even more. What?
You can only get hit by so many spears, Flowers, before you go down.
Yeah, well, that's certainly the lesson we've learned here today.
The number was only 2 in this case as well. Blaber, level 4, yeah, you stole my crab, but that just enrages Blaber. And then he chases your support into the jungle. Exactly.
Phase 2 of the boss fight.
He's enraged.
The music changes, the lyrics are in Latin now.
Yeah, I beat the boss, and you're, and the music gets all intense, you know? You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, no, it's the Elden Ring experience.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's phase 2.
Exactly. Phase 2. You're like, oh crap, I gotta log back in. You're out of potions. Nice roll from Vulcan as well. Got the little slow down on Cryogen and results in a kill. I mean, that's all kind of tied into that play going bad on the bot side as well, which is going to mean Blaber's in a great spot.
You always want to be ahead of the game on the Nidalee. This champion feels so bad to play from behind. And of course, if he continues to build towards what we were expecting and be that like healing style battery, it can just make the whole team feel impenetrable as they try to contest for objectives with the game going forward. As APA tries to shuffle around here, find a little bit of trading onto his lane opponent. There's the heal used in the bottom lane by Cryogen as well on this Karma. 2 deaths already, but he also has the assists on both the team's kills. So just needs to play maybe a little bit more carefully.
And I would also be looking at this mid lane now, because usually for Azir Orianna matchups, you want to try and blow this Orianna flash very close to your level 6. Otherwise, you know, then you can be like, all right, fine. IPA will just say, I'll try and do it myself in lane and then have jungle come to visit. But we are hitting the level 6 breakpoints here for both of them. And Quad has done a nice job up there while Blaber is back on bottom.
Okay, Blaber wants to make it 0-3 for Cryogen. One more jump forward, and he's already got the kill. Massu tries to escape, does get back to the safety of the tier 1 turret, but C9 finds their mark yet again.
I mean, Blaber's on a great start, and there's APA forcing that flash that you were talking about, Kobe. Quad had been laning really, really well. Up 10 CS, maybe you can kill him.
Yeah, the shockwave onto APA, forcing the flash back from the Emperor of Shurima, so no flash either way here in the mid lane.
And it's worth noting, Quad is playing common. He's not playing phase rush, so a little bit more lane focused in the setup there. And was able to open up an 11 CS lead. It is a trade of flashes, but of course, Orianna more vulnerable without the flash than Azir is.
And the bottom lane is the biggest vulnerability here. This Karma first pick that they slammed on red side has just been targeted by Blaber after they expended so many resources in the early gank that they did down there, and not quite getting everything they wanted. This Nidalee's just been on a tear, and Nidalee is such a quick moving champion through the brush, hopping around, gets to play the map very nicely. Right now you can just kite Trundle back until APA gets there, continue to pelt damage. Nicely done so far from Blaber, stacking his Conqueror, getting his health advantage. Another one lands, and Blaber!
The flash forward needs one more hit to kill off Gryffinn, and he secures the kill, but now Gakgos wants to get something back. Thanatos ready to answer here with the Ksante, goes forward, goes all out. Gakgos now in danger. Spear doesn't collide, and that means that Gakgos stays alive. Accelerated Shock Blast takes Blaber low, but that doesn't count. Nice play again from C9's Nidalee.
You better stay away from those crabs, little Gryffinn. I mean,
can you repeat that?
people were calling Gryffinn, you know, the new Blaber, right? Yeah. But it looks like old Blaber's the one who's the king of the crabs.
Yeah, I mean, Gryffinn was joking around, talking some trash. Well, it's looking like Unk's still got it, because Blaber is running the show in back-to-back games. This one, he has just been everywhere on the invades, nails the spear, flashes in, kills off Gryffinn, and then Gakgos has to flash out, and honestly could have gotten taken down here if things went a little bit differently. C9 already running away with it in game 2.
Yeah, Blaber just lands every spear on Gryffinn. He kites back nicely, stacking up the Conqueror. Like, these extended fights. You kind of pointed out versus a Yunara, who's also stacking lethal tempo, but then Blaber stacking here too, and the mobility on Nidalee, he kited so nicely, using his teammates as well. So Cloud9 and Blaber specifically having a big one. The Nidalee haters, Flowers, are not having the best hate watch.
No, exactly. My hate has subsided for now. We will see how well he can transition this into the mid game, since he is the primary lead on his team. Individual gold lead of just about 500, but you can see other leads for particularly the solo laners on FlyQuest. Gakgos and Quad are going to be the ones to try to bring this game back in FlyQuest favor, and right now it's Gryffinn and Quad starting up the Drake, as Cryogen and Massu are trying to guarantee nobody from C9 can make their way over.
All right, well, they pull the dragon out, so they're not going to be any cheeky like, oh, I'm going to try and, you know,
throw some crap over the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Get some random steal. So nicely done there. At least FlyQuest do secure themselves that dragon.
Uh-oh, is Thanatos going to get a solo kill right now? Gak goes down to 58 HP. Thanatos will force him away, but he won't force the kill.
And if you remember Thanatos' Ksante from last time, he's stacking chain vests. Last time he was stacking chain vests and cloaks. Now he's just stacking the vests. So is going to be really effective. You just have so much early armor. And as funny as it can look, really, really powerful against the Jayce, especially when he is going lethality.
Yeah.
And already he is kind of running that lane, so Gakgos going to get put down. And even though the gold is very close, I'm very scared for FlyQuest, because you're looking at Ksante, Azir, Yunara, Lulu, so much powerful scaling.
And plays like that are rewarded in the new patch, on the new year, because even though you don't get your solo kill, you're guaranteed money from the crystals on the turret plate. So it doesn't ruin your tempo. You just, oh, I push him out of lane, and yeah, I didn't kill him. I wish I would have killed him, but at least you can very quickly get one.
Ooh, and they're going to get Quad right now. APA goes in for the shuffle. Quad flashes away, and he stays alive. FlyQuest ready to reinforce their mid laner and turn things right back around. Nicely played as Cryogen and Gryffinn show up, save the day, and get 2 kills for their trouble.
Oh, the Avengers assemble. Quad barely saved there. He flashed at the last moment with maybe 100 HP, probably even less, and the heal plus the shields here come in from Cryogen, and the counter gank is there.
Yeah, he's going to be able to barely survive. But this was so nicely set up. Azir wall, perfect into the spear while he's still in the air. Yeah. And then Quad, his flash comes up as he used it, just came up right there.
And that's way less than 100. That was probably single digits. You see a tiny, tiny HP there, plus a red buff burning him.
Meanwhile, back on live, it's Gryffinn showing up here in the top lane, wants to go after Thanatos. Ksante goes all out, tries to get a kill back! Beautifully played from C9 as the third and Tofo strike threatens the knockback, and now Gryffinn has to flash away. Thanatos flexing his muscles here a little bit.
That was really nicely done there by Thanatos, gets the damage down. Zven in some trouble.
Yeah, Zven gets hit by the second part of the Mantra Inner Flame. Massu's Mystic Shot doesn't hit over the wall, but Quad's coming down into the bottom lane now, throws the ball into the brush. Vulcan's still hanging around. Zven has fully retreated, and it looks like C9's bottom lane's going to get out of danger. Even though it's still a 5-4 game for C9, FlyQuest has the very slight gold advantage.
By the way, got confirmation from observers. It was 8 health there on Quad, barely surviving with that counter. Meanwhile, though, yeah, the counter from Cloud9 on the top side of the map, they got one back themselves, and now Cryogen has to flash again.
Stays alive, though. Meanwhile, mid lane, APA also forced to flash away. Quad's Shockwave would have sealed his fate without that summoner spell. So again, it's the Azir vulnerable in mid lane.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on mid lane on both sides. And I mean, definitely impressive by Quad. And it is a cosmic insight difference. I was thinking he had it because he was Inspiration Secondary. He used that flash the split second it came up, 18 summoner spell haste on that rune. That's what saved him.
Every second counts, and every little tick of HP as well. Very, very nice game here, because after game number 1, I'm sure there were some people worried that this whole series might be blasting, but FlyQuest in this one looking way more competitive.
I'm people. Yeah, I was very concerned after game number 1, because FlyQuest just never stood a chance from laning through team fighting, objectives, all of it was C9 in game 1. But here in game number 2, FlyQuest definitely has a better look as they put pressure onto the bot lane tier 1 turret. They knock off the third plate. Massu and Cryogen now now falling back as Zven and Vulcan have another minion wave to reinforce their defenses. But FlyQuest, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. They are going to have to continue to get a lot of value out of their poke, though, as the game goes on. Azael, you already mentioned the powerful scaling on the C9 side. So for FlyQuest, I feel like that burden of execution will be higher.
It will. It'll be really high. It's kind of interesting, though, because neither team has true hard engage. Like, APA can go in for a shuffle. You can try to set things up. C9 has really powerful scaling, really high DPS, but they have to be able to get in on FlyQuest. So he's going to try to soften you up with poke nonstop, you know, kite back with Karma Mantra shields, and try to play this kind of slow, methodical style. You know, if they try to run forward and hard engage, well, Trundle can just pillar out the back line and you can focus down that front line. So there's lots of different ways the teams can play it. And I think it's going to come down so much to execution, because if C9 can get a hold of them and get that maximum DPS, you have to think they'd crush them in the fights later on.
Okay, let's see where our next battle is going to be with 5 seconds on the clock until the next Drake spawns. 1.5 minutes until the Rift Herald rears its head. FlyQuest already got the first Drake. They could try to get this second one here and continue that stacking, because a poke comp that's at the neutral objective first is so scary to try to face check into.
Okay, let's see. Making the map dark, and Massu's going to face check the first brush here, try and work his way in. There's still some time for FlyQuest.
Oh, APA goes in and he finds the shuffle, only onto Cryogen, though. A lot of burst onto the Karma, and the enemy support is down, but APA might just be traded away. That's a trade that FlyQuest will be happy with. C9 now going to be forced back. Massu looks for even more DPS, but Zven returns some of his own. Arc of Ruin tags Quad and Gryffinn, but Zven has to be a little bit careful here. Both top laners still up there on their island. Thanatos has teleport, Gakgos does not.
Oh, let's see if they continue. Quad here trying to position around. Wow. Mid lane pressure achieved by Zven in the aftermath, trying to push in and get the last little bit of this turret plate. They actually push them off after that trade of kills where APA goes in. It's the Azir sacrifice does get pushed back here.
Yeah, look at how much buffing there is on Zven, though. He gets the speed up, the heal from the Nidalee, the Ardent Sensor buff. It's about 100% attack speed that he's getting in buffs between Ardent Sensor, Lulu W, and the Nidalee E. So when he has that lethal tempo stacked as well, Zven is crushing
He's
him.
gliding, man. This guy is going crazy in the team fight. But hey, it ultimately works out for FlyQuest, as now Gryffinn just has access to the Drake.
Yeah, because, you know, they're trading basically. Despite him having so many buffs, it's only a 1-for-1 since Azir going in and sweeping just the Karma, but then still being melee range of the Trundle. They were able to take him down, and teleport used on the top side. That's going to be 4-person power play here from Cloud9. Sending 4 people up to the top side, try and get that pressure for APA Azir.
Yeah, but it might still just be first turret over to the other side, as you've already seen Quad down there in the bottom corner of your screen. He'll take out the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane, get the reward for that one. So FlyQuest continuing to just be slightly faster, as C9 will at least pick up the Herald.
And Massu's pushing in mid. There's only one plate on the mid lane tower as well, so that one's pretty vulnerable here too. Zven will be over to defend it. But Gakgos back up towards the top side, has TP'd back out on the map, and has Cryogen and Gryffinn around. So APA going to have to be the one who is a little bit careful at this point, but APA has vision on the Trundle as he walks over that ward.
APA will just shuffle away from that one. He's feeling fine.
Cannon minion's gonna die.
RIP, -1. Hey, they're worth less this season. It doesn't feel as bad.
Okay, I feel better. I feel better.
Doesn't feel as bad. You're fine. You're chilling. Echoes of Helia done alongside the Ludens for Blaber's Nidalee. I said that the pressure is going to be on this champion, on Blaber in particular, to be able to make sure that he's still relevant and powerful and setting things up in the mid-game. And unfortunately for him, he's actually now slightly behind in gold compared to Gryffinn.
I will say, though, with this build, I think it's a lot easier to have impact, as Thanatos is going to have to flash that pillar, just because you can kind of just sit there as a buff bot.
Ooh, Massu under pressure now. The Arc of Ruin from Zven, forcing Massu to get all the way out of there with the flash committed, but Zven also having to flash away from the turret range.
I like how aggressive Zven is looking, but Gryffinn also likes that.
Yeah, Gryffinn wants to try to get the kill onto the Yunara, and the True Shot Barrage guarantees it alongside the pillar. FlyQuest making their moves heard here in the mid lane. They'll pick up the tier 1 turret as well.
Yeah, Zven and Vulcan played that pretty well on the retreat. Good timing on the wild growth, you know, good dash back, but it just didn't matter. Gryffinn flashes right in, uses the ulti, has the pillar, has the True Shot Barrage. They finish him off. Massu.
Oh, that spear went so close. but it does not land, so Massu's fine, and he gets to pick up the mid wave. I mean, sometimes you're so focused on the fight that you're having, which was definitely the case here in mid lane. They're mechanically intensive fight, so you're really focused there, and then Gryffinn just shows up. You know, we've all been there. Jungler shows up and flashes on you. Take him down and allows FlyQuest here. 2 dragons, a marginal gold lead for themselves, but they also have a lot of the poke really coming online now. We have the Muramana transformation for Ezreal. So, you know, when you got your 2-item power spike, your Trinity Force, and your Muramana transformed, maybe now we'll get to see the power of the Jayce plus Ezreal and Karma poke actually come together and make use of Trundle pillars, slow people down so you can land that poke, and they can actually get some big health trades beforehand.
FlyQuest are also just building up a lot of move speed. You know, when you think about Trundle, you have Frozen Domain, he built Swift East, he's going towards Deadman's, you have Acceleration Gate, and you have Karma speed-ups with his shields. So they're going to have a lot of move speed to kite in, chase down, you know, utilizing those pillars as well, utilizing the speed-ups even from the Orianna. So they have a lot of tools to try to navigate these fights, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see how they're able to do it.
Zven is just bloodthirsty again, going back after Massu. Arc of Ruin once more used, means he's already transcended, so the ulti down for Yunara should dissuade C9 from looking for larger fights until the cooldown's ready again.
And they actually collapse from topside too, so that leaves Jayce alone at the tower. Gakgos going to eat up a little bit himself. Very nice for him. Some minions drop into the tower there for Thanatos, losing out on a couple. And Jayce also getting some tower plate money. Now you're going to also have to deal with a 2-item Jayce fairly soon. And we'll see about the amount of damage raining down. Flashes, though, are coming at a premium. And Zven still looking aggressive, jumping in constantly onto Massu's Ezreal. Neither of them have flashes. Bottom side, though, APA can just remake his own tower. So even with a lot of people down here, it should feel pretty safe.
Okay, 38 seconds on the clock until we get the next Drake. Even less than that until the Baron. Remember that in game number 1, it was C9 just forcing a Baron uncontested at 21.5 minutes on the clock. I don't think we're going to see the same thing here in game number 2.
I mean, may have just jinxed it, but it was like a 7K gold lead at this point last game or thereabouts. So we're in for a much better game 2. Potentially a game 3 if FlyQuest can bring us there. As you can see, Vulcan taking a bit of poke, and this is how FlyQuest wants to play it out. They need to play it slow. They need to slowly whittle them down, utilize their move speed, don't allow C9 to get in on them. And
we'll see how strong Blaber's healing is at battling the poke, because this Nidalee that they were able to pick up after seeing a lot of the poke, you know, does have the Echoes of Helia done, so see how much sustain they can bring to the long standoffs. It looks like they're trying to threaten that Baron Flowers because of the dragon opposite side of the map. Cloud9 trying to pull the rest of FlyQuest resources and threaten, but FlyQuest, they're saying, nah, go ahead and start it. We're going to keep Trundle on that dragon until we finish it.
Yeah,
I mean, trying to do Baron against 4 pokers, there's no shot.
Nobody's buying that bluff.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Trundle is great at soloing down the Drake. Everybody else just has non-stop projectiles to pelt you with in the Baron pit. I can see what C9 was thinking, but I also wouldn't think that myself.
Yeah, I will say, though, if they get a little bit of alone time, with the amount of attack speed buffs they have for Yunara, the amount of DPS that APA is going to do on the Azir, they will melt that Baron. So it definitely is something that FlyQuest have to respect, but they were well aware of this one, and there was no shot C9 was going to get away with it.
So how are we feeling now about the state of things with 3 Drakes to nothing, favoring FlyQuest? Massu again shifting away from Zven. 4.5 minutes from now, Cloud9 is going to have to stop their opponents from getting the Drake, otherwise it's Ocean Soul.
Yeah, I think 100% will get there early and ahead of time. So that you can definitely look forward to that one.
Okay.
as far
I want to see a good fight.
As far as the team fights go. Until then, I guess one of the big questions is going to be this constant mashup of AD carries in mid lane. Zven constantly is getting the push onto Massu and forcing Massu to back off. So it's slowly giving him some alone time on the tower. And slowly but surely, Cloud9 are wearing away at that mid lane defense. Of course, FlyQuest already took their mid lane tower, but we'll see if anything comes of this before the very epic Dragon Soul fight that we have. There's possibilities of like chasing down in the long lane on the side lane, or these AD carries fully committing to some of these fights. They both have flashes back up now, though.
I do really feel like if C9 doesn't stop the Soul, though, they are probably just cooked. It's
we're fighting that for sure.
Yeah, like you have got to be able to not only just try to fight that, but win it for sure. So, so much comes down to the setup. I think both teams are going to be here very early, fighting for vision, fighting for mid lane prio, which has been the story of these last couple minutes. And, you know, the last Dragon, C9 kind of quickly gave that up. They ate a Shock Blast or two, and then they just kind of backed it up. This time, they're going to have to force their way in, whether they like it or not. You've got to try to fight. You can't give over Ocean Soul to this team, or it's just going to be nonstop. I don't think they're going to have enough to actually deal with it.
And this game has been so close for all 22.5 minutes of play. Massu trying to get away yet again. Thanatos wanted to flash third in Tofo strike there for the knockback, but Massu evades it. So C9 will at least grab that tier 1 turret they've been working on for so long, but Thanatos does spend a very valuable summoner spell that will not be ready to go again before the Drake.
Yeah, and Quad, meanwhile, just splitting top. I mean, he is getting quite strong himself. Has a Shadow Flame, has the Ludens, has the tier 3 Sork boots, so is going aggressive. And is going to have a ton of damage on that Shockwave combo when he's able to get it in. APA, a bit behind, you know, still on those 2 items, but it is a Rylai's, which is obviously that cheaper item, a bit more about the control, which I think makes a lot of sense in this kind of composition. He has the Oblivion Orb, he has the Rylai's. You just want to make sure your team is hitting. Like, they have enough DPS. You just kind of utilize that control to maybe get a little bit something extra.
Yeah, make some more time and positioning for Yunara.
Yeah, you've got the Oblivion Orb to cut down the Trundle healing, since that's really the only potential frontliner on the enemy team. Seeker's Arm Guard also completed here for Blaber. Big potential item for that upcoming fight that is now less than 2 minutes away. Muramanas are fully evolved for both Gakgos and Massu, too, on the FlyQuest side. So this fight's going to be spicy.
Zven just got his IE. That was huge. I was just checking how much gold he had in pocket, and he just went back, bought the IE. So that is the spike that I think C9 was really waiting for. Now you have Ardent Sensor buff, Lulu W buff, the Primal Surge buff from the Nidalee, the Lethal Tempo, and these 3 items with the crit multiplier. He is going to be ridiculously strong if he can actually be connecting and hitting his targets.
And Lulu, you know, has the extra speed up of the Shurelya's being completed as well. So many speed buffs for their side in addition to FlyQuest having their own. So we'll see if that will be enough to kite back or not. But they're going to put the pressure right back on Baron.
Okay, C9 clears out some of the wards, and they are just going to start the Baron up right now. FlyQuest moving towards the area, but they're not moving quickly. Is this just the heist that C9 needed? They're going to get this before the Drake even spawns, and Baron goes over to C9.
Blink and that thing is gone, but can you get out alive?
Yeah, Gryffinn is moving forward, trying to chase after them. C9 staying grouped up together. Gryffinn is going to take a shot from Zven there, but you've got Azir on your team. You can summon up the Sun Disc and have a place of safety.
Baron Power recalls are important because the Dragon Soul is in 20 seconds, Flowers. 19 seconds, teleporting right back out. It looks like with the double teleports and the Baron empowered recalls, Cloud9 will have some people around to try and contest this from FlyQuest. The Dragon still 7 seconds away. C9 have arrived.
They even got to push out bot, APA TP there, so they are a little bit split. They need to get together.
Okay, FlyQuest do have control over the pit right now, but they are not going to start a video check. He nearly dies, but he stays alive. FlyQuest want to try to commit into the Yunara now. Thanatos here on the front line, tries to get away himself. Gryffinn continuing to try to chase. Blaber over the wall. Zven staying alive there is absolutely critical. He goes over the wall to try to DPS the Dragon down and stop the Ocean Drake. Accelerated Shock Blast from Gakgos does not find a target. Massu has to get over the wall to escape from Thanatos. Griffin's going to be your target now. Thanatos and Zven both still alive as the Ocean Drake is claimed by C9. Blaber goes back over. He's looking for Massu, but he won't quite find him. Arcane shift back into the pit from the FlyQuest AD carry. Zven still looking for a little bit more flash away from Massu. Holy cow!
Man, that healing from Blaber meant so much in that fight. He had a heal over the wall on Zven for over 600, it looked like. That was ridiculous. Zven barely survived and he was split from the team. If he went down, that is probably just lights out for C9, but he stays alive. The team all piles in to protect him. They get the Dragon, and now the scaling really starting to kick in.
That was so close to being a series-saving pick from FlyQuest. Getting that huge pick onto Zven, but you didn't have the last tiny bit of damage to finish it off, so it meant nothing. it was such a huge emotional swing there from the possibility of getting the pick into Dragon Soul and then everything being taken away by Cloud9 because Zven survives with the help of his team.
And I feel like in those situations, you always are going back and thinking, could we have done a little bit more damage? Did I miss something? Was there something I should have done differently? Did I need to flash in for an auto faster, right? Because once he doesn't instantly die, Wild Growth, Shield, Summoner Heal, the heal from Nidalee, everything piles in, right? So you kind of have this slim window where you got to one-shot him.
Hold on, Massu's just about to drop here now as C9 wants to go aggro. Zven is down to about half HP, but the shockwave doesn't hit him, it just barely misses. Thanatos staying alive now too, trying to flash away. Wild Growth back onto Zven, but Thanatos is down. Zven trying to fire, Gryffinn's still alive and he's moving forward. Gets the chomp on Zven, drains his AD just a little bit, but now Zven is still firing. Arc of Ruin and a Gakgos the entire time. APA still up here in the top lane. Tier 2 turret topside, traded away for Thanatos in the mid lane, and C9 does not want to allow FlyQuest to regroup. They're going to continue their push.
Yeah, it looked like APA actually cancels his recall too. He was going for a recall after taking the tower, but wants one more wave here. Knows he has the time to get the extra money.
All right, let's see if FlyQuest can keep this defense going here on the tier 2. It's just barely still standing. Zven's still hanging around.
I'm not going to lie, this Nidalee is looking insanely powerful. Blaber is doing so much work in these fights because it's not just the shielding from Vulcan. Zven can go so aggressive with no lifesteal in his build yet, take a ton of damage, and then he's just catching these heals for around 600 from Blaber every time. Buffing him up, healing him back to full, and it is meaning so much of this poke just isn't really doing that much.
That is rough stuff, man. If you're FlyQuest, you're playing the poke comp, you need to chip this guy down, and it's just not possible. Still 2 minutes on the clock until our next Drake spawns, but critically, it's about 10 seconds desynced from the Baron, so that always creates a very interesting situation on the map in terms of what you want to value, what you want to prioritize, and I'm curious how C9 is going to pilot it since they're the ones who, again, are going to have to stop the Soul.
Okay, early warding and vision here. Cloud9 moving in to take over this setup on this bottom side. They can push between mid lane and bottom lane very, very safely, controlling the jungle, putting some extra pressure here, making it hard for FlyQuest to maneuver.
Yeah, Massu also getting the Endless Hunger, which a lot of people see as kind of more of a snowball-y style item, but does have a lot of Omni-Vamp on there, especially you start getting some kills. You really can kind of ramp up, and has been a very aggressive back-and-forth game, lots of trading, so maybe just feeling it's worthwhile to go for that instead of getting an earlier Cyrildas or Shojin or something like that.
All right, FlyQuest, it feels like things are getting a little bit scary right now. They are mostly confined to their base as Quad tries to push out the bottom lane. Less than 1 minute on the clock now for Baron. Very similar time frame on the Drake. And it's C9 with control over the bot side river. And look at all the wards, all the vision they have placed in the enemy jungle leading up. They want FlyQuest to be a little bit paranoid, a little bit scared about approaching.
All right, so that Blaber heal on himself looks like it basically negates an empowered shock blast worth of damage.
Kind of crazy.
And then since he also had been hit by the Ezreal ult, then just one more heal for himself and basically topped right back off. No problems for them. Mid-wave control, this push getting taken by FlyQuest first, but the double teleports from Cloud9 have arrived, and they're ready to tango.
Okay, Blaber takes a little bit of poke right there, but again, the heals are going to make sure that C9 stays healthy. Zven gets away from the pillar. FlyQuest has control over the bot side river.
Quad getting chunked out there, though. Some poke damage onto the Orianna is very meaningful. It's going to force Quad to go back to base. He does have teleport, though.
And Zven uses ult there to actually jump over the pillar, so he has no ult, which is quite big, but they're just going to try to rush down the Baron, and FlyQuest aren't even responding. It's gone.
Exactly. FlyQuest are saying if they're going to grab the Baron, kill the Drake as soon as it spawns, secure the Ocean Soul. So now the pressure will be on C9 to get something big, something meaningful out of this Baron since FlyQuest will claim the Soul.
Yeah, because Dragon Soul, Ocean Soul on a poke team is very big, is very meaningful. Now, there is plenty of healing reduction with the double Oblivion Orbs from Blaber and APA on the opponent team. So Cloud9, maybe they're like, all right, well, we already have some healing cuts, and maybe they're not as worried about it, but it's still going to provide some value there for a poke team that is usually very nice.
I mean, Ocean Soul is always really, really strong. They do have incredibly high DPS, so they definitely can DPS through it. The Trundle is going to be, I think, the real difficulty because he is pretty tanky. if the Azir and the Yunara do get on the Ezreal or someone like that, Ocean Soul's not going to save them, so maybe that's kind of the thought process.
Big chunk from the spear there. Blaber knocks Massu down to about half HP. The Ezreal, of course, with that endless hunger you mentioned earlier, Isaac, will be able to regen some of that, but C9's Baron push is looking to kick in the front door of the base here for FlyQuest. That tier 3 turret in mid lane will collapse thanks to the Baron-empowered minion push. Meanwhile, topside, APA has summoned up the Sun Disc, and he's pressuring that lane as well. That inhibitor turret is already down to half HP.
Yeah, Cloud9 getting a lot of value here from their choice to go for the Baron, and they're keeping up the pressure.
Massu down to about 1/3 as Thanatos goes in, and they're looking to go all out. They find the burst onto Gryffinn, but that's the tanky member of FlyQuest. He's dropped low, but he's not dropped dead here just yet. Shockwave defensively. Thanatos hanging on. Blaber goes golden into the stasis. Nobody on C9 dead just yet. The heals are doing the job. Zven goes in, but Zven dies. Absolutely huge. FlyQuest hold the line.
And the long fight, FlyQuest are able to sustain through it. Now the team with Ocean Soul is on the hunt. Shock Blast hits.
Okay, APA, he's gonna be your target now. Pops his stasis, but there's no way out. Both carries dead on the C9 side.
That was so crazy. Zven goes in, trying to finish off Massu, can't quite do it, gets burst down, and then this is where the Ocean Soul is gonna be huge in these long extended fights, and this is where all the move speed from FlyQuest really comes in clutch as well. Deadman's, Frozen Domain, the pillars, the Karma shields, everything, meaning you can't get out of a losing fight. So this was really risky here. Zven decides, you know what, I am going in, but he's getting hit by Gakgos and Massu at the same time, and he just gets burst through everything. Blaber and Vulcan weren't really with him in that moment to keep him alive.
Yeah, he's been going ham at Massu the entire game, constantly jumping at him, but FlyQuest now marching back, fighting their way back into this game and into this series. We have a possible banger on our hands here, fellas. FlyQuest have the opportunity to push us to a deciding third game. Cloud9, of course, they want to end it now. They want to finish this series before FlyQuest have a chance to extend it.
Well, look at that damage from Zven in the last team fight. Over 7K he was pumping. I mean, this game is a certified banger. This one's going to be really fun, and I think it's very likely to come down to an Elder, and we'll have to see. I mean, Ocean Soul's not going to do a lot against Elder, so a lot of the advantages that FlyQuest have built will be nullified by that if C9 is able to secure it. But it's, again, going to be so much about the setups, and can they stay with Zven? Because he is working now towards that BT. That will help him a lot to be able to stay healthy, in addition to everything we've already been talking about with this Lulu and Nidalee buffing him up and healing him.
All right, FlyQuest still defending right now. They managed to hold the base with losing only a single inhibitor, so it's not like there's a ton of pressure just flowing in through the minion waves, considering we're 35 minutes into the game. It's... I don't remember the naming nomenclature anymore, but it's like, it's season 2026. You have a lot of power at 35 minutes into the game. One wave of super minions is very easy to deal with for this FlyQuest squad, but that does still mean, though, that C9 have control over the enemy jungle. They're going to place down this vision, and they want to keep the pressure on.
See if FlyQuest can actually pull off the comeback in this game, in this series. Because that pressure, Flowers, that goes through the roof. When you have Baron and Elder both on the map, everybody's blood pressure just rises. So FlyQuest, they of course are working with more pressure. You know, super minions are still flooding down mid lane, and so they're trying to open up at least a pathway for themselves to come check these objectives. And both epic objectives will be arriving shortly.
It's always really interesting too, because I think that, you know, if you do an Elder for Baron trade, often the Baron team can just clear the waves and just kind of delay, let it run out. But FlyQuest don't necessarily have that advantage because their base has already been cracked, right? You know, they don't necessarily have the ability to just kind of sit back and turtle. Maybe C9, if they get the Elder, can push in and try to actually end the game, whereas C9 kind of has the option of trying to contest, or they could try to trade for Baron and say, you know, we're just going to wait out your Elder and we're just going to wave clear.
So we've also got Abyssal Mask completed for Thanatos to help magnify the magic damage of APA and Blaber, and also a little bit of Zven because of the Yunara passive, right? So I like this choice here to just guarantee that they don't have the same type of situation that FlyQuest did, where you feel like you just miss out on the kill that could have ended the game by the smallest of margins. But it's less than a minute now for both of our super buffs. C9 are prioritizing that Elder. They have control over the bottom side river. FlyQuest have made what very well might be their final purchase for this game.
It's also worth noting that FlyQuest doesn't really have any offensive heal cut. They have the Thornmail, but I'm not seeing any other ones. And now with the BT and the Nidalee healing, that's kind of problematic.
FlyQuest just kind of barreling down mid lane right now. They're just taking total control over the push.
Meanwhile, push on bottom side, Azir is still pinging forward. APA is signaling, I'm going to keep split pushing. There's still time that we have before FlyQuest really get to a pressure scenario. Rest of Cloud9, actually, they come back. They're trying to defend.
Okay, mid laners both in the bottom lane. Gryffinn steps forward again, leading the charge for the FlyQuest side. Teleport coming in from C9. It's Thanatos. Zven's here on the front line. Down to half HP, immediately healed right back up. FlyQuest has everybody joined in the fight. APA is not there for C9. He's just pushing the enemy base instead. It's a 4v5 for C9 here for the Elder. Thanatos again on the front, trying to keep everybody on FlyQuest busy. C9 is pushing in the bottom lane. FlyQuest trying to go for the Elder, go for some kind of a game win here as C9 continue to fight them. APA is DPSing the inhibitor, but it's very slow. Blaber jumps in, but the Elder goes over to Gryffinn and FlyQuest. Blaber is dead for the next 60 seconds. Zven wants to find a kill, but he can't quite finish off Massu as Gryffinn continues chasing. APA has made his way onto the Nexus turrets, and the first one will fall. The second will not be felled in time as Gakgos returns to the base.
Yeah, they make a really good call here from FlyQuest. They say, fine, we're going to go for the flip. We still have teleport for Gakgos. He'll get back after the fight, and now with Elder Dragon buff on FlyQuest, can they go for it?
It's a 5v3 for FlyQuest along with the Elder buff. They're forcing their way into the base, and that first inhibitor turret will crumble in seconds. C9 has to make a crazy defense here, but it's so difficult to do. Massu's Mystic shots could very easily be the end of anybody if they land. First Nexus turret on the under fire, taken out. Gryffinn goes forward, goes on a rampage. Zven is down. Ladies and gentlemen, FlyQuest, they find their way in. They take the Nexus, and we're going to game 3.
The shockwave combo there with Quad and Gryffinn. Gryffinn flashes the shockwave in onto Zven's head. They finish him off. C9 made the risky call. We're not going to team fight. We're going to try to end the game through the split push. It does not work out. Gryffinn nails the smite, nails the flash for the shockwave combo, and we are going to game 3. What a turnaround from FlyQuest.
Yeah, what a defense there from FlyQuest. And under pressure, the young team actually holds strong at the Elder fight. They get it. Lounge, are you pumped up?
It's crazy.
That's
insane.
What? We're pumped up.
What? I gotta raise this desk up.
Yeah, I mean, look, Emily has been too short for too long.